The 5 Simple Rules of Wealth Creation by Irina Nikitina. Rule number 1. You are what you want to be, just like you are what you eat. It also follows that you are what you think. If you set your mind to work for somebody as an employee, you will look for a job and you will be satisfied working as an employee. However, if you set your mind properly to attain financial freedom, you will find means of getting wealthy without the pressures and hassles of working for someone else. It seems that the mindset of many people is almost always preoccupied with working as an employee that they forget or unintentionally ignore to cross the line, to see how they can create real wealth. Just like a coin, they never bothered to look and to find out how it feels to be on the other side of it. I'm not saying that employers are bad. They provide jobs and it's good. I'm just painting a picture of one of life's realities, which we hardly notice at times. If you go to business, you eventually end up as an employer yourself. I'm just opening the financial area of your mind. Consider this. Palms facing up is receiving, kind of similar to begging. Palms facing down is giving. Employees receive. Employers give. How do you want your palms position to be? Rule number 2. Think and act rich. Always keep in mind that you can attract as much money as you desire by knowing that it is all in the mind. It is what you choose to think and act upon that produces the money you want. What you think will be. Technique number 1. Feel rich and be grateful. What I'm about to teach you is a simple yet very powerful way of attracting wealth and prosperity in your life. First, imagine what life would be like if you were rich. Don't just see it. Feel it as if you're already experiencing the luxuries and lifestyle of the rich. Do you see yourself driving your dream car? What model and color is it? Touch the seat and feel its soft texture. Open the car radio and listen to your favorite music. Experience the joy of driving it towards your favorite place. Maybe you could visualize a house. How many rooms does it have? Take a relaxing soak in the bathtub. Smell the food aroma coming out from the large kitchen. Play sports in your own private gym. Play sports in your own private gym. The important thing here is to believe that you are already rich. Now, doesn't that feel good? By doing this exercise, you are unleashing the powers of your subconscious and directing it to give you what you're dreaming of. But it doesn't end there. To make this even more effective, breathe slowly while still hanging on to this wonderful feeling of being rich and say a small thanks to God or to a higher power. By being grateful, you are commanding the powers of the universe to work in your favor. You are confirming that you are graciously accepting your blessings. Try it out. Believe and feel that you are already wealthy and be thankful for it. You will be astounded by the results. Technique number 2. Be generous. Many people think that rich people are selfish. That's why they have lots of money at hand. This may be true in some cases. However, there are a lot more individuals who are wealthy because they know how to give. When you give something from your heart without expecting anything in return, you release a powerful force that will trigger your good deed to bounce back to you in amazing and sometimes unusual ways. Whenever possible, be generous in giving to others. You will notice that what you receive, or the return, will be more than what you give. As humans, we have the tendency to reciprocate what we receive. But don't give for the sake of expecting something in return. Give freely from your heart, and the rewards would be greater. The act of giving can summon the spirit of joy to come into your heart. How would you feel when you've given something to your less fortunate neighbors? Let me tell you that nothing could brighten up a day more than hearing them express their most heartfelt gratitude and seeing their smiles extend from ear to ear. What you give doesn't necessarily have to be something material. It can also be time, effort, talent, service, or even an affectionate feeling. Lastly, here's what I consider the most important rule about giving. Keep your good deeds to yourself. Don't announce to the whole world that you've donated $100,000 to your favorite charity or that you've helped save a child from a life-threatening disease. If you really desire to give, do it secretly and in private. Some people would write anonymous rather than their own names when they've made a contribution. The universe smiles upon these individuals and they will get their just rewards in due time. Consider this. If you are on the giving end, doesn't it mean that you are in a better position than the recipient? Doesn't it complement your character? Technique number 3, don't be afraid to lose. It is said that winners are not afraid to lose because failure is a part of the process of success. People who are afraid to fail lose success. Like a coin or a chip, look at both sides of the possible effects of something you want to do. Say you want to buy a house or a car. It may seem to look like you're buying an asset. Take a look also at the other side. It might be a liability because of the additional expenses it would incur. Weigh your options. Think rich and put your thinking into action. Rule 3. Enhancing your money consciousness. The next paragraphs will further enhance your money consciousness. In more ways than one, these money-making thoughts may sound like proverbs, but I find them very encouraging, hence I want to share them with you. 1. No one else will determine your future except yourself. Either you get up or sink down from where you are now. This can be determined on how you mold your thoughts. To be weak or strong, rich or poor, you decide your own fate. The effect of your thoughts eventually affects your life. 2. If you're broke, that doesn't mean you're poor. You may be rich, but you may be broke. You see, being broke is short-lived. Being poor is long-term. You are broke only for a certain period of time, but being poor without doing anything to alleviate your condition in life makes it permanent. 3. Take failure as a chance to get smarter and stronger by learning from it. Don't let failure defeat you. Get inspired by it and eventually you will turn up to be a winner. 4. Sometimes we want others to change their attitudes, but we have no control over them. It's easier to change oneself if we have self-control. 5. Be creative and open to new ideas. Sometimes we are so used to doing what the majority are doing that we completely close our minds to new ideas. If you need to be different from the majority for the sake of financial success, so be it. Rule 4. Tap your potential. We all have tremendous potential and talents like courage and brilliance. We must learn to tap into them, to put them to good use. Like it or not, we also have negative common traits. We all have some degree of self-doubt, although at varying levels. Again, it all depends on us, which side of us we will allow to prevail. In the world of money, being smart is not enough. You've got to be bold or daring. You have to actualize what is in your mind. It is understandable that we feel apprehensive when it comes to change. Some are even afraid of change. But we mustn't be. We must consider change, even at bad times, as an opportunity to improve our lives. Turn to your creative mind so as not to be swayed by the tide of depression. To be financially secure, you need to be creative and to take calculated risks. Great opportunities are visible to the mind, not to the eyes. Learn to recognize an opportunity. Once you do, within the right time and available finances, it can make you rich. Always remember that your mind is the single most powerful tool or asset you possess to gain financial security. Just like our body that takes nutrients from food and water, our mind must be continually energized with creative ideas and financial thoughts to create wealth. Most of us work for the purpose of making money. More than this, we must work to learn. Rule 5. Control your fears. What is the first impression we have upon hearing the word fear? Most likely, we think of it as a word that describes a feeling we all do not like to experience. And rightly it is, for even the dictionary describes it mostly as a word filled with negative emotions. Different people have different kinds of fear. Fear of speaking in public, fear of heights, fear of enclosed places, fear of being alone, fear of dark places, fear of being in a doctor's or dental office, fear of spiders and other insects. We can enumerate countless more. Fear is the biggest deterrent to financial success. Suppress fear and your money-making mind turns into a gold mine. A word of caution. Being wealthy does not necessarily solve the problem of fear. Sometimes it even aggravates the matter because this time it is fear of losing the money that bothers the wealthy. Learn to manage and control fear. Many people who have money problems fear losing money so much that they are actually aggravating their problems by concentrating too much on them. They can't think of any solution to their dilemmas because their thoughts are preoccupied with the terror of paying insurmountable bills. Instead of worrying about their problem, they should shift their focus to a different perspective, even for just a few minutes. They should take some time to relax and re-energize their brains so they can be more capable of finding the right solution. They should set their problems aside for even just a few minutes each day in order to allow their minds to come up with possible solutions. Fear also has its good side. Fear prevents us from getting hurt, physically and emotionally. That little fear that is inherent in us is actually good for us. It prevents us from being too aggressive. It makes us think before we act. Action after thinking is definitely better than action without thinking. This little fear is similar to fats in our body. Too much fat in our body is not good for our health. A little fat helps to keep us warm in cold weather. We kept emphasizing little in fear, and we must keep it that way because once it starts to get big, we're in real trouble. So how do we control fear from getting big without totally losing it? How do we keep fear within manageable and usable level so we have control over it instead of the other way around? To an average employee, fear of losing a job makes him get up every morning to go to work. This is fear controlling the person. To the poor and middle class, the fear of losing money makes them cringe to take risks, even calculated risks which the rich usually take. Sometimes they never realize that they already lost the moment they backed out from an opportunity. And if this keeps on going, they'll never get rich. Fear leads to poverty. It prevents financial creativity in our minds to the point that ignorance sets in. When creativity, be it financial or not, does not occupy the mind is in a state of emptiness. It doesn't remain empty for long, so ignorance sets in. And when ignorance sets in, bigger problems start to set in as well because our mind is in disarray. Unconsciously, we become greedier. If you will notice, most if not all of the negative traits and emotions in humans can lead us into trouble and financial distress if their level is higher than our level of thinking. If we keep them from dominating our mind, we are in good hands. And to make this possible, we need to gather enough courage or fortitude within us, which will be the basis or backbone of our action towards financial security. Practice in small ways and gradually improve to bigger activities. To suppress the fear of losing money, the excitement of winning must prevail. We must have the burning desire and the passion to make it happen. To bring up that burning desire, we must think of the great benefits that money will bring. What will I do, or what can I do when I become rich? Start by recalling and making a picture in your mind of the things you would like to do if you have the money for it. Concentrate first on the good things it will bring to you and your loved ones. Perhaps helping a brother or sister finish college, going on a cruise in the Caribbean if you love to travel. Traveling is educational, or giving a motorized wheelchair for a poor, crippled uncle. Acts of care and concern not only for oneself and family, but to others as well. Ignites passion and desire. It puts your creative mind to work. Subconsciously, you have suppressed fear. Put your thoughts into action by making big but realistic and detailed step-by-step plans. Remember that all these excitements must be within the tolerable limits of your thoughts, so your reasonable and creative thinking could have full command of your actions.